You are now listening to the Masters Mahan podcast.
Episode 25, Demons 102. This episode may be deemed inappropriate for some listeners. If you have been abused or are a minor, you should stop now. This episode builds on the previous ones. Previously, we discussed the fallen angels known on Earth as demons. There is a lot of misinformation out there about them because that is the way liars like it. They have to hide behind their lies because the truth is too empowering to those they wish to manipulate and too painful for them to machinate on. They want to keep us from focusing on their plans. Namely,
one small step for man.
We are, as a people, opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret procedures. And we are opposed around the world by a scientific and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covet means.
Well, join me. I'm glad to sit here at the right hand of Satan.
The vision of Joel has been fulfilled.
So the name of this project is FunVax.
We don't just need more money for vaccines for children eventually. We need more money to plan for the second pandemic. There's going to be another pandemic.
We'll eliminate this behavior. And we believe that's a satisfactory way to get the exposure of large
him is. Do you think the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down. Michelle is a transgender. We all know.
And so we eat the blood of our enemy.
But you know, there's quite an awakening coming.
the great patriot Thomas Jefferson was eager for the American nation to start a public education system, because he was convinced that the more education that young and up-and-coming Americans had, the less likely they would fall for the power-hungry grabs of the rich and powerful. President Ronald Reagan probably said it best when he said that he knew that if the American people could be given the truth about any important national decision, 9 times out of 10, they would make the right choice.
It's great to learn, because knowledge is power.
We have seen how red flag events and bread-end circuses have been used from the start to focus us on the wrong things and to waste our time on amusement and basic comforts. It is no different when it comes to demons, and actually it is no different when it comes to hell and our afterlife. You will remember that we explored together the hierarchy of demons in the army or corporation of the schizophrenic Prince of Darkness, who goes by many names. We made the comparison that hell is in reality nothing like the Catholic fear-mongering of a fire pit, where sinners, single mothers, and unbaptized babies are poked endlessly with pitchforks, while Satan laughs and laughs and laughs at their fate. We made the wild accusation that hell was really more like LAX, large sections of Los Angeles, not the parts on fire, and more actually like Disneyland. You may ask how we know so precisely what we are able to tell you next, but that would be a spoiler.
Warning! Warning! Spoiler alert!
Since all men and women die, and some we wish would die sooner than later, please go get another vax.
I should be prosecuted.
Let's pull back the curtain and discuss the reality of life after death, and exactly what you will find there when,
Heaven can wait.
God forbid, it is your turn to pass on by addressing the first guardian at Death's Pass with the secret passphrase.
Drivers beware. There are reports of heavy fog on I-80 through the mountain pass. Watch your speed and stay alert.
Yeah.
This is a good time for
Hey, boss.
a break at Foothills.
What do you want?
Boss,
Hurry it up. This fog will be the death of me.
what do you want to do with the rat? We worked him over good.
Right.
He won't be talking to the DA anymore.
Clean up your mess and get rid of the body. Hey, buddy, get in your lane. Look out! What happened? Where am I?
You passed away, expired. You died. Get it?
Oh. Now what?
That all depends. Tell me, who are you? Who are you?
Well, I've had the power of Satan for many years, and I know his secrets.
In that case, I'll tell you this. You'll find to the left of the house of Hades a spring, and by it stands a white cypress. Do not approach this spring. Further on, you will find the lake of memory, where refreshing water flows forth. Say to the guard at the waters, I am a child of earth and starry heaven. He will then let you have a drink, and you can go on to the fields of happiness and bliss. But you already knew that because of your alliance with Lucifer.
Yeah, right.
The ancients like to say, as above, so below. You will find a great many interpretations about what this means, and just as many opinions. But the simple truth is that all of God's creation works upon the same constructs, from the lowest regions up to his very throne. It has to, or it would not be one comprehensive unit. Take the emotion of love as an example. Many people struggle to understand how a being such as God could be a being of love, and yet also have allowed us to live in and through so many of the circumstances here that we call the human experience. When one understands, as above, so below, the answer becomes comprehensible. God has said that he is a father. This makes us his children. Ask any parent about how it is that they can both love and raise a difficult child, and you will gain profound insight into the very nature of God.
You all know what a child is. Psychology is, well, it's made up of two Greek words. Psyche is Greek for, and ology, which in Greek means, well, as I said, it's all Greek to me. Now, you all know that 1 and 1 makes 2. But when it comes to marriage, 1 and 1 makes 3, or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 40, 93, 87, and after several years, well, you're up to here in kids. Now look at all the thousands of letters from frustrated parents complaining that their children are noisy, destructive, disobedient, and uncontrollable. In other words, perfectly normal. And they're the worst kind. You can take my word for that. These letters are all about the same. Now here's a typical one. Dear Doctor, help!
Just as humanity functions in societies, gender roles, and familial hierarchies, so does all intelligence throughout the great universe of God.
Boys are boys from the beginning. If you were born a boy, you stay a boy. Girls are girls right from the start. If you were born a girl, you stay a girl and grow up to be a lady.
The afterlife is no different.
Only girls can be the mommies. Only boys can be the daddies. Yes, sir.
If you were to pause right now and take a journey to the world of the dead, which you can do right now, but we don't recommend it, you would see that there really are 3 sections. there is a beautiful, peaceful part, which the Greeks called the Elysian fields. The Egyptians called it the Aaru. These had guards who made certain that only those worthy of entrance got inside. Why? Because connected within the same spiritual plane was the other place, the home of the demons, the same place that Christians call hell. The Greeks called this place Tartarus. The Samaritans called it Irkala. However, the greatest gift of the ancient mystery cults was the realization that life continued after death, and that hell was nothing like the world of horrors that Christians are scared with today. Hell is actually more like,
welcome to Costco, I love you. Welcome to Costco, I love you. Welcome to Costco, I love you.
In terms of law and order, and more like
Walt Disney's Disneyland. Each week as you enter this timeless land, one of these many worlds will open to you. Frontierland, tall tales and true from the legendary past. Tomorrowland, promise of things to come. Adventureland, the wonder world of nature's own realm. Fantasyland, the happiest kingdom of them all.
In terms of distraction and amusement. We know that we are rattling an ancient paradigm, but since we know that we are 100% correct, and since knowledge is power,
because knowledge is power,
you're going to be grateful that you heard us out, even if you don't believe all of what we are saying right now. You will eventually come to see, at your death, that we have told you the truth.
Spirit, whose lonely grave is this?
Why, yours, Ebenezer. The richest man in the cemetery.
Please.
When a person dies, they find themselves in the world of the dead. Those in the know, who are drawn to a desire for rest and peace, and who have lived a godly life, will seek the spiritual Garden of Eden, which the Greeks call the Elysian fields. If you can convince the guards, you will be welcomed in.
None shall pass.
What?
None shall pass.
I have no quarrel with you.
None shall pass.
But I must cross this bridge.
None shall pass.
Stand aside.
I move for no man.
But before your gain is admitted, you will be tempted by something very difficult to avoid. Lucifer's magic kingdom.
Oh boy!
Within the world of the dead is an enormous emerald city.
Come with me to the Emerald City.
One short day in the Emerald City.
Oh, I've always wanted to see the Emerald City.
One short day in the Emerald City.
Although it might be better described as an ancient Babylonian bazaar, we might say an enormous carnival. Satan is its proprietor. He set it up for a very devious, demonic reason.
Step up, ladies and gentlemen.
Its sole purpose is to extend your sins, waste your time, and distract you away from the coming day of judgment, which is coming.
Hurry, hurry, step this way, the strangest night.
The Lord has warned all of us that we will all be resurrected and face the day of judgment for our actions on the earth. Those who have sought forgiveness and repented of their sins and placed their faith in Jesus Christ will find that His grace is sufficient at the Father's judgment. But one must choose this. The longer one can be distracted, tempted to exacerbate the sins they have, and linger away from Christ's mercy, will find that they will run out of time. This is hell's only purpose.
Oh, my fearing whiskies! I'm late!
Those unable or unwilling to convince the guards at the gate of rest will find that they are free to wander in limbo, as the Catholics might call it. but more likely since human beings are socially motivated creatures.
You get the whole show now if you hurry, hurry, hurry.
They will find themselves interested in Satan's version of Disneyland. Those willing to pay Lucifer's price there will find that they are given more and more privileges. It is exactly like YouTuber Dougie Corrado and a friend discovered years back in the wealthy hills above Los Angeles when he, with some joy, was tapped to join the powerful entertainment elite. His story is not new to us. In fact, we could have used any number of different people who have all had the same experience. But we will include a truncated portion of his witness here and encourage you to seek out his full experience online. And no, his experience is not unique.
So this story is the reason I stopped making content for 5 years. You guys remember when all those Vine stars and skit Instagrammers moved to LA in like 2015-ish? So I wasn't a huge creator at the time, but I was there and around it all as all of that stuff was happening. I moved from Chicago to LA 3 weeks after high school with like $2,000 in my pocket that I saved up working at Steak and Shake with this other aspiring creator named David. I was much more into editing and being behind the camera at that time, and he was much more into Vine and vlogs and being on camera. That time of our lives was absolutely crazy. Everybody was broke, posting anything we could onto YouTube to get some attention. And to be honest, it was extremely fun for the first few months, until Hollywood started to notice that influencers were the next big thing, and that the landscape of the industry was changing. And we started to get invited to more exclusive parties and events, where it seemed as if old Hollywood was almost grooming new Hollywood. And there was rumors of this one gathering that was happening on a monthly basis, where it seemed like anybody that got invited saw a massive jump in their numbers, secured huge brand deals right after attending. But apparently this gathering worked on a buddy system. Someone had to vouch for you and bring you as a guest. Me and David ended up getting invited. Some talent agents saw me and David shoot a silly skit at a random party. He didn't invite us that second, he just told us that he saw something special in us and took our contact information. When I tell you I was on cloud 9 leading up to that party, I mean it. I was so young and naive and delusionally optimistic. I truly believed that I was gonna go to this party and leave rich, because it literally seemed like that was happening to the creators around me that attended. We pull into the driveway and this house is beautiful and extravagant. At the door, they take our phones and have us sign an NDA, which isn't uncommon in house parties like this in LA. And they give us a mask and a name tag with funny aliases. My mask looked like a bear and David's looked like a bird. My alias was Stardust, which David got a crack out of, and his was Banshee. We enter what you could call like the lobby of the house, and as we're walking in, the apparent host of the party starts giving a speech. This man is very eccentric and outspoken, and he's got the cadence of a late night show host, and I spot the agent that invited us standing right behind him. The speech was basically just encouraging everybody to have fun and explaining the itinerary of the night. Apparently this was a themed room party, and all of the guests were instructed to move to the next room whenever the grandfather clock chimed. He wrapped up his speech with some cheeky joke, and then one line that still irks me to this day. He said, "Have fun now, our descent starts at midnight." The moment the host wrapped up his speech, a couple of workers came out of the doorway. They were holding a couple sets of long poles. All of a sudden music started playing and everybody seemed like they knew what was going on, so I just went along with it. So I guess these parties start off with a big game of Limbo. It's funny seeing people dressed so nicely playing a silly child's game, but it's even weirder seeing A-list celebrities being so excited to play, because everybody had masks on, but when somebody that you grew up watching in movies walks by you with a quarter of their face covered, you still know it's them. I was amazed with how inviting and willing to introduce themselves these people were. I was expecting at least an undertone of uppityness in there, but it seemed like everybody was involving everybody in conversation, and they were frequently introducing themselves to me. The first grandfather clock chime went off, and everybody excitedly rushed into the second room. When I finally got in there, I was taken aback by the dramatic decor change. Everything in this room was different shades of blue.
Remember, blue means protect the family in the occult. Dougie will go on to say that in this room, everyone was extremely flirty, and there were cabana beds and love seats with curtains in case you wanted to.
Hubba hubba.
Being only 19, he was very uncomfortable with the advances from both the Cougars and the P. Diddy Doodas.
I tried to give David the eyes that I didn't like where this party was going, but he seemed to be really enjoying the female attention, so I was on my own. I basically stayed in perpetual motion and walked laps until the next chime went off, so I didn't have to sit next to anybody for too long and let them get too comfortable. The clock finally went off and everybody rushed to the next room immediately. The weirdest part was the people that were in the private sections didn't even bother redressing except for the mask. I was in no rush to get to the next room, but I could see into it over the crowd of everybody's head. The walls were bright orange, but the smells that were wafting in from that room were amazing. amazing. And when I finally got in there, it was like the Hogwarts feast. It was table after table of the most delicious spreads I've ever seen. There was full tables for seafood, full tables for meats, full tables of sushi, and an entire wall of spirits. I almost started enjoying myself again. Until I saw the way these people were treating this food. They were disrespectfully biting chunks out of delicious prime rib roasts. They were just shoving copious amounts of high-grade sashimi into their mouths and eating caviar like it was cereal. The way that they were just grabbing with their hands and just spitting out things that they didn't like onto the floor ruined my appetite. At this point, I wanted nothing to do with these people. So I went up to the only familiar face in the room. The agent that invited me was the only other person not eating. So I approached him and lifted up my mask so he'd recognize me, considering we'd only met one time. Before I even got out my greeting or got my mask halfway off my face, he abruptly pressed my mask back into place and sharply said, "Masks stay on till the 6th room. I encourage you to engage in the festivities. A slow drip is better than a flood." He started to walk towards the door as the clock chimed. This room was yellow and basically just a casino. I wanted to talk to David privately and let him know that I wanted to leave, but he seemed to just be caught up in the momentum of the party. Plus, there was a roulette table in the room, and David's freakishly good at roulette. So at this point, the winning streak that he's building is the center point of the party. I can't fully focus on what the agent said to me because I have to pretend to be excited about David's winning streak in a fake casino where you're not actually winning money. And like clockwork, the chime goes off. The entire party starts rushing to the next room again, and the vibe changes dramatically. I'm the last person to walk into the bright red room. This room didn't seem to have a specific activity like the others. It was just empty and bright red, and everybody was whispering to each other. The same people that I saw laughing and celebrating and eating together were whispering the most heinous, offensive comments directly to each other.
All I see is
I mean things that you wouldn't even say behind your friend's back, they were saying it to their face. I'm talking friendship-ending secrets and personal opinions about each other laced with envy and jealousy. I hurried to a quiet corner because I was sick of hearing everybody's dirty laundry after walking around for a minute and a half. But the chime for the next room goes off. This time, everybody gets eerily quiet and calm, like they got all of their venom out. The host of the party announces for all of the newcomers to come to the front. All of the attendees form a single file line in front of the next room's door. There's about 10 other newcomers in front of me and David, and the agent that invited us is standing to the left of the door, and the host of the party is standing to the right. The host has a pile of books on the table next to him. I see the host ask the first person in line a question and then grab a book based on his answer. He would present the book to the person and place a diamond-shaped metal symbol on top of it before having them repeat something that he said. Then he'd take their mask off and let them enter the next room. The books were Bibles, Qurans, Torahs, and so on. He would ask the person, "And which one is yours?" Whichever they chose, he'd grab it and place the metal symbol on top of it. He'd have you put your hand on top of the metal symbol and then repeat, "I am my own God. I bow to nobody but myself." When I tell you I am done with this party, and I whip my head around and I tell David I am absolutely not doing that. David whispered back in a joking tone like he always does, "Dude, it's just a party. Who cares? I'll see you in the next room." And he skipped me in line to show me that he'd do it first to make me feel more comfortable. He went through with it and giggled his way into the next room. It was my turn, so I tried to play it cool and whisper to the host, "Do you mind if I skip this part? It's making me a little bit uncomfortable." I thought he'd subtly break character and reassure me that this is just a party theme and it's all good. Instead, he whispered back to me in a really kind tone, "Of course, man, don't worry about it. Just take your mask off and turn around." I was relieved for about a split second before the agent that invited me here grabbed my arm and started guiding me towards the exit. And I see that everybody that was behind me in line staring at me straight-faced. I look back at the host and he's standing up and loudly shouts like he's starting a chant. The price was not paid. And then everybody in line that was staring at me chants in unison like they knew exactly what to do. Remove the profane. And they repeat it over and over until I'm through the exit door. The price was not paid. Remove the profane. The price was not paid. Remove the profane. So the agent just walks me to the closest door. He doesn't even walk me to the front of the party and out the front door. He just puts me out into the backyard. It's 4 a.m. My friend's still inside. I don't have my phone. So I decide to walk around the right side of the house because that's where all of the party attendees were kind of headed. Let me see if I could peek in and maybe flag down David to let him know I got kicked out. And there's some windows to the next room. But of course these windows are like big church stained glass windows. And you can't really see through stained glass windows like the colored ones. But if you go really, really close and you look through the white parts, you could kind of see clearly what is on the inside. And this room is like a bizarre church replica without all of the seating. It's just a big church-like room. And all of the people that were in there had their masks off. And it was like a big circle and almost looked like an initiation. And all of these celebrities are standing around in a circle around the other 9 new people. And there was big TV grade cameras recording, and it looked like the group of celebrities and everybody else that was there was kind of cheering them on, but then there was clearly people in there that were much more serious and kind of threatening, and the new people were in the middle of this room being forced to do horrible things that I wish I could unsee. And the new people clearly didn't want to do these things. They were being forced to do these things, and they were clearly recording it. And I see my friend being forced to do these horrible things in front of these people and in front of these cameras. I just start panicking. I don't know what to do. So in my head, I'm like, I just need to get out of here. There's only one street. We're on Laurel Canyon, so it's either I go left and start running towards Studio City, or I go right and start running towards West Hollywood. I'm not about to go knock on other people's doors. I'm just trying to get back to like civilization, and I'm trying to remember if we're closer to Studio City or if we're closer to West Hollywood. I don't even know. As I get to the front of the house, one of the employees is standing there, and he's standing in front of a car, and he has my phone. I'm not sure if he knows that I just saw everything, so I'm kind of standing there deer in headlights, but he just politely goes, "Here's your phone and here's your ride. Don't worry, the driver will take you home."
So what Dougie saw is the same thing that happened to Walt Disney when he was filmed intoxicated and posed with young gay men in compromising positions.
Gosh.
It's the same type of thing that happens to members of the Skull and Bones Club at Yale.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America?
Basically, a person is filmed doing something criminal, horrible, and outrageous. Then they are simply told that as long as they do as they are told, their shame will never be revealed and they will have access to wealth and power, but may be required to obey orders from their betters from time to time. There is nothing new in this pattern, and we have seen and will see it again and again as we go forward. You can find Dougie's full account of all of this online. We will yet see further examples of this same experience and its aftermath.
Hurry in to see the insidious ickiness happening under this big top.
Satan's amusement park functions the same way. The first drink, or the A ticket, is free.
Hey kid, would you like some drugs? The first one is free.
Want to check out my van? I got some candy.
With the enticement that the greater prize, or the E-ticket, is yet to come. One finds that the curiosity and the fact that they have already invested some time and have already gotten their feet wet find the wonderment behind the last door to be too tempting to avoid. Hell is always paved progressively with good intentions. If you want some idea what is behind the last door, go and watch Stanley Kubrick's deathbed confessional film, Eyes Wide Shut. Remember this title. He chose it for a very important reason, and we will come back to it. Or look up P. Did He Really Yes He Diddy Combs' White Parties. It's all the same thing. There is nothing new under the sun. Or as therapists try to help them child victims of Great Daddy Puffing Dragon be Lieber when they are at last ushered away from the pedophiles. You only have 2 holes that they could have stuck you, and the girls have only 3.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go
I'm
wild.
sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the rest.
Number
of it.
322?
Congratulations, Skulls. On your rebirth, a skull above any other. Say it. Skull above any other. Louder.
You only have 2 holes that they could have stuck you, and the girls have only 3.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America?
You see the rest
Number
of it.
322?
You only have 2 holes that they could have stuck you.
322?
And the girls have only 3.
We really shouldn't be doing this.
There is nothing that these have done to you that have not been done to many, many others. It's time to heal.
Oh, but most of all, for butterfly kisses after bedtime prayer.
but in our modern age and with all the modern media we have ingested, just let your mind slide into the dirt and you'll know plenty about what goes on behind the last door. Its purpose there is to break any and all of the Lord's commandments and revel in Lucifer's only law. Do what thou wilt.
You are free to do as you wish. Anything you wish. This will be my only law.
The one difference in Unky Satan's Disneyland is that no one has a physical body. That's the thing you left behind when you died. It's the one that had a penis if you knew you were a boy, or the thingy you used to have if you believed the demon assigned to you and cut it off so that you now think you're a girl. You know that thingy? The great exploitable truth about your afterlife situation is that once you have experienced existence in a physical body, life is profoundly unsatisfying without it.
Guess who? It is me, your lover. I admire her mind, too.
This includes those at rest, past the guards in the paradisical region. There, these rely upon their faith, and in communion with family and friends, that the resurrection is coming and will be worth the wait. Those wandering in limbo are on their own, and thus the distraction or promises that lie in Satanland become all the more tempting to them. The word amusement comes to us from Greek, and it literally means the state of, meant, not, a, thinking, muse, amusement. An amusement park is the place where you go not to think. In order to participate in Lucifer's distractions, one is required to go into debt to Hell's great king.
Presenting His Most Royal Majesty, the King.
It is exactly the same here as there. Within the great bizarre fairgrounds, there is a bank, and one must take out a loan with the Khazarian Ashkenazi Nazi bankers there to pay for the attractions. You will be told not to worry about the fine print because as long as you make the monthly payments, the interest can be as high as it is, but the week with the VIP Fast Pass will be worth it, as will the mega 40-pack of Costco-branded toothpaste.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
To keep the metaphor going. So what are the amazing amusements? At first, they are simple distractions, like the
all together in the tiki 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 room, in the tiki 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 room. All the birds sing words and the flowers croon in the tiki 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 room.
These are fun once, maybe twice. It was better when the pineapple smoothie wasn't all fake chemical crap like it is today. But soon, through the advertisement and tempting carnival barkers, the desires for more are sought. There's the timeshares and the private resorts. After all, the tiki room has fake birds and singing flowers. But the kinky room has so much more, boys and girls. For a price, you can revisit the places you long for in the living world. Do you miss sex? How about a day excursion on the monorail?
Monorail!
Were you sent here by the devil?
No, good sir, I'm on the level. Throw up your hands and raise your voice. Monorail. What's it called? Monorail. Once again.
How about a brothel? Miss intoxication? How about a visit to your favorite rowdy bar or pub? Do you miss gambling, drugs, go-go dancers?
Okay, look, right now, $100 if he gets on stage and dances.
You know you're getting up there.
Larceny, violence, gluttony? You can re-experience it all, visually only, in one of our many, many megaplex experiences. Have you ever found yourself in the midst of one of your sins, temptations, or weaknesses, and felt the darkness gather around you? Have you ever felt the eyes in the darkness watching you? You have. And now you know the horrible truth, dear listener. You, when you are sinning and feel the prodding to exacerbate your weaknesses, are the Carnival show on the great silver screen of Hades.
You know you're getting up there.
We have just told you the truth. Is it any wonder then that your addictions behave the way they do? Why, they are cyclical and seem to be on schedule. You've got a performance to keep. The tickets have already been sold. And so you are pushed to deliver on time. Now, you don't need us to tell you that the next step of progression in any thrill goes naturally from observer to participation. Anger can lead to violence. Porn can lead to rape.
That's it, get those legs up.
Intemperance can lead to addiction. This is why the Lord encouraged his disciples to avoid the first step. Those that can curb their anger quickly, he taught, are not likely to ever be guilty of murder later, and so on. The painful truth here is that those who have died who want the full package are willing to please Lucifer and pay his ultimate price, are given the right to possess a human being. The length of time and the make and model are determined by your level of loyalty and what you are willing to do for him when so commanded. We have already told you how this is done. But, in case you forgot, it is done through sodomy by a wizard who didn't cut off his magic wand during that time that Governor Newscum was using your tax money to do that, instead of making sure there was water in his state's fire hydrants.
All the homes are gone.
All the homes are gone.
Because of climate change.
Because of climate change.
When the fires are out, I'll build a brand new LA.
I'll build a brand new LA.
Here's $700.
Here's $700.
Land grab is underway.
Land grab is underway.
California's
burning.
And the fire department's gay. Looters in the streets. Illegals on the way. Well, I went to fight the fire.
Went to fight the fire.
But there's no water today.
There's no water today.
LA is burning down.
LA's burning down.
But smellfish are okay.
But smellfish are okay.
California's
burning.
But my mansion's okay.
Look, guys, I know I probably didn't do the best job of hiring people, but I'm the mayor. And that's all that matters.
And all I care about is money and power.
Me too.
But I'm the governor, and that's all that matters.
Look, I know you lost your house, but cheer up. We got the Olympics coming to California.
Yeah, and all I know is your memories are gone.
Gone.
And they're burned to a crisp. But Los Angeles is hosting the World Cup.
Yeah, look on the bright side, guys. This is why you keep voting for us. You can't live without us, guys. So get over it.
Get over it,
keep
guys.
Keep voting for us.
The city's almost
gone. The city's almost gone.
In DEI we pray.
In DEI we pray.
Speculators coming. 2.0 is underway.
2.0 is underway.
So, has all of this shook up your paradigm? Do you still believe your pastor, reverend, or father that hell is a place of burning and is different from what we have just illuminated to you? Are you a doubting Thomas who needs to see hell for himself, or you won't believe? You can see it, you know. The ancients knew how, and people do it in our day every other day. You can too, but it will leave its mark. You will likely regret doing it, and the price may be higher than you will want to pay when you come back.
Oh, my burning whiskies! I'm late!
So, it's time to drink from the pool of Lethe and pass through the water curtain.
Who are you? Friend, who are you?
I am the son of the earth and the starry heaven.
That is incorrect.
Michael, stay with me. Nurse, administer more epi. Good. He's coming around.
Mom?
Rationale for fair use of copyrighted items used. Fair use law allows fair use when copyrighted material is being used to make a specific educational, research-based, scholarly, and/or critical comment on the work being used.
How very thoughtful you are, Piglet.
Okay. You shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Masters Mahan will continue.